The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Tax the rich, feed the poor, till there are no rich no more.
Welcome to Pod Talk, everybody. I'm Jim.
I'm Paul. And
I'm Jeremy.
I was going to introduce you, brother, but God, no, introduce yourself.
Excuse me. Sorry, I was just putting the link up to the station real quick on
You gotta
Facebook.
get closer to your mic.
Yeah, get a little closer to your mic, right? And I'll introduce you. Do you mind if we use your last name?
No, not at all. I don't care.
All right. This is Jeremy Gibbs. He's auditioning to be the third man on the mic on the show every week. And we want to give him a real good shot at this. We've been talking a little before the show. He seems to know what he's doing, and he's computer literate, Jim.
Right.
Yeah, I got about 20 years under my belt on computers, so.
Nice.
Okay.
Tell us a little about yourself, where you're from, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I'm not sure I want to admit where I'm from because of my governor, but, it's, unfortunately, I am currently from Ohio. I've been, well, like you said earlier, I've been computer literate for about 20 years with a couple Microsoft certifications under my belt. And right now I'm a machinist for Mitsubishi.
There you go. Guy's got a good job.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the cost of living out in Ohio? I can imagine it's not that expensive.
It depends. It really does.
It can't be like around here, that I'll tell you.
What's the rent go for say, a two-bedroom?
Well, where I'm at is 3 bedrooms, and it's $850 a month.
That's really good. That'd be like $1,500, $1,600.
Yeah. I was renting a one bedroom in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I was paying $1,200 a month.
Ouch. God.
Yeah. You can't get a parking spot in Boston for a month for $850.
Good Lord, and I complain about the cost of living here.
Hey, do you know, I want to go do a couple more of these. What's a pack of cigarettes cost in Ohio?
Well, a pack of Marlboro Blacks after taxes a little over $6.
That's about the same here in New Hampshire.
Is it?
Yeah, I'd say. Do you know what they are in Mass? About $12 a pack.
But well, I'm about a half hour, 40 minutes away from the Kentucky border, and I can go down there once or twice a month and buy cigarettes at half the cost.
Oh, yeah, that is good.
Yeah, that's what everyone from Mass does. They all come up here to get to New Hampshire.
It's like half the cost.
Yeah, because we don't have an income tax. We don't have a sales tax. We don't have helmet laws. We don't have a seatbelt law. We're the only state in the nation that doesn't have a seatbelt law. And you don't even have to insure your car if you don't want to.
Wow. We got taxes on everything here.
I've been to Ohio once.
Taxes on everything.
I went to Cleveland to see a Browns game with the Patriots.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Cleveland. Let me guess, New England won?
Oh, yeah. I saw it from the backseat of the car, passed out.
Yeah, Jimmy got too drunk, he didn't even see the fucking game.
Guy gave me something to get rid of the sniffles or something, and I don't know what it did, but it just knocked me out.
Jimmy got roofied.
They had a carrot I couldn't walk.
He got roofied.
No, that's only like 4 beers.
Yeah, he definitely slipped you something.
Yeah, I know. It was a hell of a reaction, that's for sure.
Your ass didn't hurt when you came to, did it?
Yeah, I was gonna say he woke up in a cellar in Pomona.
No, I did all I could do. I went to puke. I opened the back door and puked right out on the floor. I mean, ground.
Oh, that probably did.
Yeah, and they all come in.
Is there any subjects anyone wants to open up with? Because I've got fucking nothing.
Well, we could
Jeremy, you're here for your first time. Go ahead, take the lead.
Well, I'd like to start with Parkland. But
Go ahead.
you guys have watched the news today, but we'll go back to the beginning a little bit. They were talking to these kids. We're talking on the news, kids from Parkland, and I had made mention of the fact that these kids may understand what happened to them, but they're too young to understand that they're being exploited. Their tragedy is being exploited for not only for ratings, but for gun control, political maneuvering. And, I mean, you're still seeing it today. And then we see on the news in Parkland today, which we discussed before we went live, the sheriff's deputy that was at the building less than 60 seconds after the shooting started and would not enter the building. Did nothing. He took up a position outside the building and stayed there.
What a fucking coward, huh?
Yeah. Then not to mention, we talked about this earlier too, he got suspended without pay.
Yep.
And was allowed to retire and receive his pension.
They said that retarded. They're rewarding people for you know what I mean? You're supposed to lose your job over a thing like that.
Well, he did, but you get to keep your pension. He had enough time to retire.
It's dereliction of duty, and it's grounds for firing.
Right, but you still get to keep your pension. They got to change that.
Exactly.
A Mass State Trooper, right?
Yeah.
Got caught taking fucking drugs out of the contraband room. He was forced to quit. Well, he was fired, but he got to keep his pension.
That's ridiculous.
Asinine.
Yeah, is that asinine?
That's ridiculous. That deputy that was at Parkland should be in jail.
Absolutely.
Yeah, do you know what their argument is for not taking their pension away? They go, well, you know, he's got a wife and kids, and, you know, he has to live. Really?
Oh, well, yeah,
because
so did those
17 kids didn't get to live?
Yeah, those kids that died had a right to live.
I could see he was going into a gun-riddled place with, you know, junkies and like an apartment building or something, you know what I mean, where they all got submachine guns.
Yeah, you wait for backup.
Yeah, you wait for backup. But these were kids that were dying, and the only person that had a gun was the gunman. And he had a gun and he refused to go in and use it.
Well, he was told to go in, was he not? Or was he, you know...
Wait for backup.
That's his job. When children's lives are on the line, he's not to sit there and wait for backup. He's to go in and do exactly what he can do to try to stop that shooter, even if it means losing his own life.
Yeah, you don't see firemen going, gee, I'll wait for backup. They run into the fucking burning building.
And, you know, me as a private citizen, if that happened here, the high school's directly across the street from my house. If that happened here, I would be over there in seconds.
Oh, God, yeah. You know what? Everyone says, how do you know you do that? You've never been in that situation, right? Look, I know I would. I know I would. I mean, I wouldn't run in fucking like Superman crashing through walls. But yeah, I'd try to get in there and take that guy out.
We got another school, which this is smart, which, you know, maybe they should do this at all schools. There's another school nearby where if you walk in the front door, it's got metal detectors. And then there's another set of doors between you and the rest of the building. If you walk in those front doors and the detector goes off, it automatically locks the second set of doors. You can't get in.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that is good, in case you do take down the guy.
Now, does it trap you, like, in between the two doors?
Yeah, it traps you between the two doors. It automatically locks both sets.
That's the way to do it. Oh, my God. You'd be in there freaking out. Fucking a caged animal waiting for the cops to show up.
Well, not only that, at this school, it's insanely stupid. I mean, just 2 days ago, somebody made a threat to shoot the place up, which was, like I said, insanely stupid, because there's state troopers in this building at all times. There's the sheriff's department in this building at all times. The school resource officers, which are armed, in this building at all times. This is like a vocational school.
Oh, okay.
They teach law enforcement in that building.
That's great.
And they had somebody dumb enough to make a threat to shoot the place up.
What is wrong with these fucking kids?
This is what happens when they get indoctrinated instead of educated.
Yeah, well, the sad part is that's the third threat to shoot up a school in my area in as many days.
Oh man!
Well, you get all kinds of copycats, especially when the ones that are unstable. This is when they come out.
Well, do you know what? To me, when it's fucking 24-hour coverage when something like this happens, you're fueling it. You're begging for the next one.
Yeah.
They show his name, his face. They make him a fucking celebrity.
They got to go to every high school student.
Yeah. You know what you do? You don't say his name. You don't show his face. You say the gunman.
Yeah.
That's it.
Stop talking about it, because if you stop talking about it, they won't cry out for attention. They won't, oh my God, this guy shot up a place and got all this attention. Da-da-da-da-da.
Exactly. The 15 minutes of fucking fame.
Like I said, especially the unstable ones, they figure they got nothing going for them, so they just, that's it. My life sucks, I'm going to fucking ruin everybody else's.
People will remember my name forever. I'm immortal.
It's not even that. They just, misery loves company.
No, I know, but the attention is what they're seeking. And they get it.
Yeah. Well, what else I find ironic about that damn Parkland shooting is there were several students who were interviewed that said there was a second person. They didn't say there was a second shooter, just another person involved, because this other person, they felt like this other person was corralling them towards the shooter.
Yeah, do you know what? I know, and maybe it did happen, but there's always conspiracy behind these things.
Oh, of course. There's going to be a ton of them.
Yeah, and do you know what? If it was convenient for the government and shit, they would squash it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying conspiracies don't exist. But until somebody shows me something, it's kind of in the realm of, you know what I mean?
That's kind of how I looked at it, but I was sitting there thinking, if these kids were interviewed and they were saying this stuff, why were these interviews not aired on the news?
One of them was. The blonde girl. She said there was a second person.
I did not see that.
Yeah,
It's the first time I'm hearing about it.
I think all the networks picked it up for a second, and then they, like CNN and MSN and all of them decided that bad idea, shut it down, and didn't go any further with it. But my theory is, anyways, do not give these people attention. If we give these people attention, there's always going to be somebody standing in line waiting to be the next person to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Jimmy, their lives suck. They've got nothing to live for, like you said, right? But at least in death, they're famous. Wouldn't it be better to be dead and famous than dead and nobody?
Well, go out in the blaze of glory, and that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Do you know what they should do? They should walk into a crowded fucking marketplace, right? Take a gun, shove it in their mouth, and blow their own fucking brains out. They'll get attention for that. Nobody else gets hurt.
Well, you know what? And that's, speaking of that, something like that happened here in Ohio, Jackson Township, about 55 miles south of Cleveland, I believe it was. A 7th grader went into junior high school building with a gun. He didn't shoot at anybody else. He shot himself.
Well, I mean, no, I feel bad. The kid was obviously disturbed, and 7th grader, he's just a baby still, for Christ's sake. But at least he didn't hurt anyone else.
Right, and you notice how that's all hush-hush. You're not hearing about it in the news. You hear about it locally on the local news stations around here, but you're not hearing about it on Fox, MSN, or CNN.
You're not going to hear about anything on CNN that doesn't exactly fit their fucking their vision. You know what I mean? If it goes against their agenda, you're not going to hear nothing.
Like the town hall they did, it was all one-sided.
Yeah, because it was scripted.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, they all jumped all over Dana Lash.
Oh, I love her, by the way. I love her. I
she does
hated her. They brought all the kids on. They all hated her, too, so...
I watched her speech earlier today, and to me, I think it was a little, it was spot on.
Well, do you know what? Because she's an intelligent woman that can, put it out there. so you can easily understand it.
Yeah. See,
And
CNN won't do that.
so, and that's why they hate her, because she's intelligent and she can, like I said, make it so anyone can understand it. You don't have to be a fucking rocket scientist you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand it anyways.
Well, speaking of rocket scientists, I don't know if you guys watched the SpaceX launch. What was this, a few weeks ago now?
yeah.
Tesla, you mean? Yeah.
They launched the Tesla into space.
Yeah, $90 million is what the total cost of that launch was.
That's cheap.
Yeah, and the left was livid. I mean, the Democrats, they were raising hell. This guy spent $90 million to launch a car into space when we have homeless people on the streets. That's what the Democrats were saying. And I'm thinking, well, every single NASA launch, $450 million.
Yeah, or billions. The Cassini was like a $3 billion project or more.
And the way I see it, that man just saved the American taxpayers $360 million in one launch.
Yeah, and it was his money. He did it with his money.
Not ours.
Yeah. I don't care if he wants to launch a fucking Christmas tree into space.
So yeah, technically, if you want to look at it that way, he saved us $450 million. And that's just the cost of the launch for NASA. That's not the cost of the vehicle or any satellite or any other equipment they put in those things.
Well, do you know what? Another reason that the left hates it is because it's private industry doing it instead of NASA. If NASA had launched the Tesla into space, they would have been the darlings of the media.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a big government fucking monstrosity.
And I tell you what, if that launch doesn't knock NASA off its perch, I don't know what will.
You know, I feel bad for a lot of the people in NASA, right? Because they're just trying to do a good job. They want to produce a product that, a good product. And then you got to see it from their point of view. And they're seeing these cost overruns, and they must be smacking themselves in the head going, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, how did he do it?
Right, how did he do it so cheap and we fucking can't?
So, kickbacks, it's corruption. When the government gets involved, it's corruption.
Well, do you know what it is? As soon as fucking Boeing or fucking Rockwell or any of these companies here, it's a fucking government, it's for NASA or something like that, they fucking jack the price of everything up and just try to shove it right up the American public's ass.
That's exactly what they tried to do with the Air Force One.
Yeah, but
Trump wouldn't have anything to do with that either. He said,
when they build planes for themselves that they have to sell, right, in a private sale, because they're a private company, you don't see them overruns when it's a private sale.
Yeah, well, Trump pretty much told Boeing, he said, cut the cost or lose the job.
Yeah, lose the job. I'll fucking make a deal for Airbus.
They cut the cost or lose the job.
Yeah, there's other people that can build fucking planes. You're not the only one that builds jumbo jets.
Yeah,
I believe there's even other countries that make them.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying. It must be. Russia makes their own, right?
England makes the Airbus.
The cost overruns you were talking about, that the Falcon Heavy launch actually used 2 booster rockets that were used in the Apollo missions.
Isn't that awesome? Actually, it's not awesome. It's fucking over 40 years later, and we're using the same technology.
Right.
Well, they modified it, obviously, so they would land themselves, but
yeah, it was cool.
If NASA had launched those rockets, imagine the cost probably would have tripled.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It just because I seen the video of the 2 boosters landing.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, that's fucking amazing. And you heard nothing about it.
Well,
if NASA had done that, they would have been saying NASA's back.
Because NASA is a public funded that we're part of that, the people. But when somebody private does it,
they don't like it.
Yeah, it's like, well, how come we couldn't do this?
Because they want the government to rule everything. Whatever happened to hippies hating the government?
Oh, not anymore.
No, we're the fun guys now. The Republicans used to be the sticks in the mud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were so uptight it was fucking sickening. Now we're the fun people.
The reason why it is the way it is now is because the government has created such a dependency on them that people are unwilling to let it go.
Right, because you have more people getting something than giving.
Because they know they can sit at home on their ass collecting a welfare check and have a refrigerator full of food, whereas a guy like me, I make $20 a freaking hour and I can barely afford to feed my family. That's
I hear you.
5 mouths I have to feed and help take care of. And I should be able to do that easily. And I can't.
You're a machinist for Mitsubishi and you only make $20 an hour, dude?
I've only been there 3 years.
Jesus Christ. You can get a forklift job here, well, not in New Hampshire, but Mass, making that. Driving a fucking forklift.
Well, I'm not going to move to Mass, but
then again, you'll be paying, $1,600
Yeah, the cost of living
rent.
is higher out here.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, the thing, when I started, though, I was only making $10 an hour.
Oh, okay. In 3 years, you got to 20. That ain't bad.
No, that's not bad. That's doubling your pay in 3 years is good.
What's minimum wage out there?
I believe it's $7.85 or something like that.
Yeah. It's $7.25. Yeah.
I thought it was 8 something.
No, not New Hampshire.
Actually,
Yes, it was 8 something.
And Mass,
I will look that up while we're sitting there.
Oh yeah.
Ohio minimum wage.
I love the fact that
Michigan is $9.25.
Where you are?
No, Michigan.
Oh, Michigan.
Ohio minimum wage is $8.15.
Seattle, 15.
Yeah, they just upped it.
The fucking $15 an hour. That means
small businesses they're going to put out of business.
They're all leaving. Do you know what they're doing? They're moving just outside of the city limits and setting up shop there.
Well, that's a dangerous thing up in the minimum wage. Of course, I love to see people making good money, but
yeah,
when you up the minimum,
but up in the minimum wage it makes everybody inflate.
Yeah, because when you up the minimum wage, the companies that have to pay that either have to get rid of employees, cut production, or raise the cost of their product.
Consumer.
Yeah,
which we end up paying it.
And another thing it does, no kids get jobs. Nobody's going to hire a 20-year-old kid when they can hire a 30-year-old guy that has a work ethic. Or just say, like, school program. Like, you know what I mean? Like your first job, you work on papers at 15 or something like that. Who's going to pay a fucking 15-year-old kid $15 an hour?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, it's the Democrats, when they were talking about all these tax hikes, wanting these tax hikes, raise taxes. When you raise taxes, especially with publicly traded companies, they have to stay within a certain profit margin or their stocks drop.
That's right, because they have stockholders they're beholden to.
So when you raise taxes, they have to make that up somewhere, but like I said, by cutting employees, cutting production, or raising the cost of their product. They have to stay within that profit margin or they fall apart.
Yeah, but government just comes up with a new tax or raises the existing ones.
Yeah, like the death tax. I don't know if where you guys live they have the death tax. In Ohio, if somebody dies, you have to go to probate court and pay a taxes based on what their estate's valued at before you can do anything with it.
Yeah, that happened with me with my parents' house when after my mother died, and it fucking sat in probate, dude, for like a year.
Yeah, well, I got lucky. My mother, she passed away December 30th, but her house, she had it put in my name as well as adding my siblings to it before she passed. So thankfully that didn't have to go to probate.
Right, yeah, because that's almost like putting it in trust, right?
Yeah. Her car, unfortunately, we didn't get that changed over in time, so that went to probate. and the state is valuing that vehicle at, I think, almost $7,000, and to me, that vehicle's not worth $2,000.
Right.
You gotta fuck. So you can't walk in with like a Kelly Blue Book and go, no, it's worth $2,500.
But in the state of Ohio, they get to decide what the value of it is.
Of course they do.
The only time the blue book is any good is when you trade it in for another car. They give you the book value.
No, if you go to that's not true. If you go to court, say you get into a car accident or something like that, the judge will go right to the Kelly Blue Book and see what it's worth.
Like I said.
Well, and that's.
But why is a probate court different than a fucking civil court?
It shouldn't be, but in some cases it shouldn't be, but it is.
Well, probably because there's more cases in there. And they take
No. It's because they want to fucking bleed you because you have no choice.
Yeah. Well, it's also similar with the eminent domain laws here in Ohio. Here in my hometown, a few years ago, they built a brand new Walmart supercenter. 32 people lost their homes to build that Walmart.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it is bullshit because none of those people who own those homes received more than 2/3 the value of the property.
I would have do you know what I would have done? I would have found as much dangerous chemicals as I could find, and I would have dumped it all over the land. I would have said, "Here you go. It's fucking poisonous now." I would have dumped it down my well. Everything. Here you go.
It's 32 homes gone, and nobody received more than 2/3 the value of their property.
That's not what eminent domain was meant for. It was meant for public projects, schools, roads, shit like that.
Stuff that was hard to go around.
That's what our local government called fair. A fair value for the homes.
2/3 of
Now,
what they're
they
worth.
decide.
Yeah, they decide what the value of it is. They have their own appraisers and everything else, and it's a scam right from the get-go.
It is.
Oh, I would have fucking lost my mind on that one.
Well, I'm sure these people did.
I might have been the next shooter, but it would have been in a fucking Walmart. First I would have went in and bought the gun there, too.
Well, but you remember a few years ago, a guy walked into Walmart, he picked up an airsoft rifle off of the shelf and was looking at it. Somebody called the police on this guy, and the cops shot and killed him.
Yes, I remember that
story.
Yeah. Because some fucking moron called and said there's a shooter in the store.
And he didn't even know the cops had been called. He's sitting there looking at this gun. A cop comes up and starts hollering at him from behind. He turns around to see who it is, and bam, he's dead.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Because that cop felt his life was in danger. You fucking dope. What a dopey thing to do.
I would have grabbed the kid that called the cops.
What'd you do? Yeah.
And not to mention,
you're the one I want now.
Exactly.
Not to mention that officer didn't have all the facts or all the information he needed to make a proper judgment in the first place.
Oh, and I'm sure it was a justified shooting, correct?
Oh yeah, he got away with it. Nothing happened to the officer. He was put on administrative leave for a while, and as far as I know, he got his job back after that.
And I'm sure while he was on administrative leave, he
just like the cop that shot the 12-year-old. I forget in what city. It's out there in the Midwest somewhere.
Yeah, it was in Indiana.
I believe it was in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati?
Somewhere here in Ohio, I believe it was Tamir Rice. He was shot and killed.
Tamir Rice.
Yeah, in a park. With a toy gun in a park. The cops, I seen the video. They come barreling us in and just jump out of the car and shoot him.
Without hearing any shots, they weren't fired at.
I'll tell you right now, had that been my kid, I don't care. I would have found that cop, I would have dragged him into a basement somewhere, and I would have said, guess what, for the next year, I'm going to fucking torture you. I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to torture you.
Yeah, well, then you get cops like Darren Wilson. I believe it was Mike Brown that he shot and killed. And everybody knows that, at least in my opinion, that was a legitimate...
He tried taking his gun away.
Yeah. That Mike Brown had just robbed a convenience store, and Darren Wilson shows up, and Mike Brown is trying to beat on him through the window of the cruiser, and then tries to take his gun away. Darren Wilson not only lost his job, he lost everything. He had to leave the state.
And I believe, not the vast majority of cops, but the majority of cops are good guys out there doing a tough job that I wouldn't want to do.
Yeah.
But that being said, when they fuck up, they should be held responsible, and they're not.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, they should be held responsible. They're not above the law, just like everybody else.
They
No, they are above
and they
the
get
law.
to keep their pension.
They are above the law.
Yeah.
You see it every day.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like I said, the majority of cops out there are doing a job I wouldn't want to do. It's a shitty fucking job. But with responsibility should come, when you got power over people, you should have to pay a penalty if you fuck up.
Yeah, that's a huge responsibility. Not only are you taking your own life in your own life in your own hands, you're taking somebody else's life in your hand. If you pull that gun out and shoot, you don't know where that round is going to land.
Exactly.
That's another thing. The first thing my father taught me when he took me out to go shoot my first time, and I was just a kid, he said, "You better make sure you know where that fucking bullet's going."
Yeah, because ultimately you're responsible for whatever it hits.
Yep, exactly.
That's situational awareness. Be aware of your target and whatever's behind it. 'Cause even if you hit your target and it goes through it, you're still responsible for whatever that hits.
Yeah. Well, that one, it's kind of like, oops. I was just trying to hit the target. I mean, you could get what would they call that? Negligent homicide or something like that.
Yeah,
you can't call that
manslaughter or whatever.
Involuntary. You didn't mean to do it. You were trying to hit your target. I defended myself. I can't help it that bullet went through somebody and hit somebody else. Yeah. My life was in imminent danger.
Well, Barack Obama didn't do a damn thing to help the situation with law enforcement. I think he created the environment.
He poured gas on a fucking already hot fucking fire.
He hates civil servants.
Well, yeah, with Darren Wilson, if you remember, they memorialized him. Obama showed up at this young man's funeral. This thug showed up at his funeral and did a eulogy for this kid.
Yeah. And
Chris Kyle was murdered, and his funeral was, a few months later? No government officials showed up.
Not at all.
Scalise, the Supreme Court Justice.
No,
he didn't show. He didn't send any representative representing him. Scalia. I'm sorry.
This guy was Chris Kyle was not only a veteran. A lot of people, he was a hero. He did everything he could to help people with PTSD, and being a PTSD sufferer himself,
right?
He dies, to me, a hero, and the government says nothing. They chose to memorialize a thug instead.
Look at
that's the media.
Look at the 5 cops that got shot in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing from the Obama administration. Nothing.
Not a word. The first thing they did the next day was to start crying for gun control.
Yeah. And he didn't even fucking stop golfing or whatever the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, and it was a registered Democrat that was pulling the trigger.
It's always a Democrat. It's always. Nobody from the NRA, as far as I know, a member of the NRA, has ever been in a mass shooting.
Nope, and you won't see it like that either, but they demonize the NRA.
Right. Well, that's because they're being indoctrinated by the liberal teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're taught one way, and that's, like I said, if these kids, there's no reason why you should have guns that are just going to kill people. If they know when the state comes in barging on your door, they're coming in with automatic weapons. You know that, right?
Yeah.
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 And what are you going to do with your pea shooters?
You fucking, it doesn't even matter anyways. They're defending. By telling armed people to take our guns, they support guns.
Yeah. Indirectly, but yeah, they support guns.
They're willing to let people with guns take my guns that I own legally.
Well,
So you're for, and you know what another thing you never hear is? We're going to go into the inner city. We're going to find these fucking gangs with all their guns, and we're going to take theirs. We're going to go in and just fucking swamp the fucking Bloods, the Crips, and MS-13 and take their weapons away. You never hear it.
no, the only person I know of that's mentioned that has been Trump.
Yeah. And then they call him a racist for it.
Yeah. He gets demonized for wanting to take out a bloodthirsty gang.
Yeah, but a guy that's never bothered anyone with his guns, that's the fucking problem.
Trump's going to be the only politician in the history of the United States to be demonized and go down as being the only politician that ever did what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, he kept his word, or he's keeping it so far.
He kept his word, and he's being demonized for it. He'll be the only politician that ever has to deal with that.
Yeah. Well, because he's the only true outsider.
And that's what they don't like. He's an outsider, and they can't pay him off.
Yeah, he's fucking with their new world order, and they don't like it. He's rocking the boat.
Good man, though.
Damn right he is. He's the only... Look,
Like he said, he's willing to compromise on a lot of things like immigration. He's willing to give 2 million of them, 2.8 million of them amnesty. If that closes the border and stops all this future DACA bullshit and get rid of chain migration and the visa lottery, I'm all for it.
do you know what? You gotta give a little.
You got to give a little. So
Even though DACA's
2 million people is one thing.
DACA's totally
Don't have to bring in their
unconstitutional.
family because 2 million turns in 20 million.
Yeah, and another thing he should go after is the fucking anchor babies, like he said he was going to do too.
Yeah, he never did go
Yeah.
after them. I don't know why that's not part of it.
Yeah, it should be.
Honestly, I think the biggest mistake Trump has made, and that, in my opinion, somewhat the only mistake, was to promise to not go after Hillary Clinton.
I don't know.
Well, that was before he knew about Uranium One, before he knew about the Steele dossier that she funded it.
Oh, yeah.
Because, that was all before that. You can't forgive her for that.
No.
No, you can't. And Mueller's investigation is still trying to link all of that to Trump.
Yeah, I know. And it just keeps leading back to the Democrats.
They're only going after people that were connected to Trump.
It's so transparent, it's ridiculous. If you can't see that, you
Like
are
I said,
totally blind.
I've given Sessions a year already, and he's if he ain't doing any investigations, I'm going to be real disappointed.
Yeah, because I've been on Sessions for a while, and Jimmy's like, oh, give him a break. Let him see what he's going to do. And I'm like, I don't think he's doing anything, Jimmy.
Well, they don't advertise it. It doesn't say, well, I'm starting something against Hillary Clinton. They wait. They try to, because that's like telling them we're coming after you.
I think the
You're
big
going
thing
to catch
with,
them by surprise.
I think the big thing with Sessions is that he is actually somewhat siding with the Democrats. What I think he's doing is trying to wait out the statute of limitations on Hillary Clinton so he doesn't have to investigate her.
Yeah, he's just another part of the fucking swamp that needs to be drained.
Well, if that's the case, Trump should get rid of him.
Yeah,
I mean, he should be telling Trump what he's doing. Trump should know this.
he should put in somebody like a fucking Rudy Giuliani or something like that. A
Because
fucking pitbull.
Yeah, he knows, and he
But I'll
knows. In his,
guarantee you,
Let him finish, Jimmy.
he knows in his own mind that if he investigates Hillary Clinton, he's going to have to commit suicide in a few months.
Yeah. Prearranged suicide.
Yeah, it's the suicides was what really killed me. Is one of Hillary Clinton's aides was found dead. They ruled this a suicide, right? This guy shot himself in the back of the head, not once, but twice.
Oh, Vince. You mean Vince
At
Foster?
at point blank range.
Yeah, because
yeah.
he was supposed to testify the next day.
So apparently the first shot didn't do anything. It didn't, let alone it didn't even knock him out. So he had to take a second shot to make sure he did the job right.
In the back of the head. Because that's how everyone commits suicide.
Right. He was assassinated. Period.
Yeah, of course. She's got... Excuse
They
me.
ruled it as suicide.
Yeah, she's got bodies stacked up like fucking cordwood.
Well, they say at last count, well over 100 people that have been that were close to her have died mysterious deaths or killed themselves.
The only reason Monica Lewinsky's still alive is because of what's her face.
Linda Tripp.
Yeah, because she recorded the conversations.
Uh-huh.
Monica Lewinsky would have been dead.
Oh yeah.
And she was mad at Linda Tripp for that.
Oh,
You shouldn't have recorded my conversation. You should say, fucking thank you.
She was
I'm
mad
still
for
alive.
giving her up. She betrayed her, according to her.
Yeah, she saved her life.
Yeah, she should be
Saved her
thanking
life.
that woman. I mean,
Oh, God, yeah. Every fucking day when she wakes up, there should be a picture of Linda Tripp right on the wall.
yeah, from the outside looking in, it's I could see Monica's point because she doesn't know what Linda Tripp actually did, what her intentions were. She just sees, oh well, that woman just
I didn't know
ruined my
Linda
life.
Tripp worked for the Secret Service.
I didn't know that either.
Well, we all three know now.
Yeah, and the three people listening to us.
And the three people listening to us.
Now, if everybody else tells somebody else, we'll get up to 100 in no time.
Yeah,
Right.
we're going to start taking... We're not doing it tonight. We're not taking any phone calls tonight.
Right.
But
Right.
we are going to... We will start doing it next week. I just want you to, blab with us, get a feel for this and shit. And then
Right.
next week we'll start taking phone calls and stuff.
Dead air.
Yeah. broke the first rule of radio. Went dead silent.
Well, Donald, when he called me while you guys were live the other night, that caught me off guard because I didn't know you guys were even there until the conversation was half over with. Like, that's all I could think of to do.
Oh, when they went live from the gun store?
No, this was the other day. I think I was talking to you guys, or actually wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Donald while you guys were live on the radio.
On the last Friday?
Might have been last Friday.
Yeah,
I
because that's
think
when
it
we're
was.
all together. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's it.
And
Yeah, it must have
I
been
didn't
during-
even know you guys were there. I didn't know I was on the radio or nothing. I'm like just sitting here playing away on my computer, and I get a call from him, and he starts talking about tonight. And then he goes, "Oh, we're live on the radio," and I'm like,
Yeah. You could have said 15 seconds.
Right. You could have given me a warning before you called.
Yeah, because he was like, yeah, he's going to do it. And then he's like, he doesn't want to do it. I was like, what the hell happened? And I thought you might have just heard one of our old shows and said, fuck that, I'm not doing it.
No. I was having some issues the other night, and Donald called me while I was in bed. I don't even remember exactly what I said to him.
Stop calling me.
Probably.
Why are you calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning, you freak?
But, nah, Donald's a good man. He really is.
I love Donald.
He's got the best of intentions every time he speaks.
Me and Donald fucking hit it off just like that.
He caught me on what I would call a seriously off day. So I had tried to get promoted at work, didn't get the promotion, and I was sitting there dwelling on that. And then he calls, and I'm like, "Rrr, rrr." I wasn't rude to him or nothing. And then later that morning, I woke up and I sent him that message saying, "No, just tell him I don't want to do it." But I was still pissed off and in a
Yeah, that's
outer
fine.
space
That's fine.
thinking about that. And
I'm just like you came on, man.
And then I thought today, damn, man, I must have sounded like a complete ass to him when I said that. So I messaged him probably 30 minutes before you guys went live. Asked if you guys still wanted me on there.
Yeah, I was because I was sitting here talking to a couple guys, the kid that brings us weed, We were sitting here blabbing, and Jim went on the phone with Donald, and I'm hearing, yeah, that's great, thanks. So I figured Donald was coming on with us. And he's like, no. He goes, Jeremy's coming on. I was like, yes.
Yeah, Donald's actually in the middle of a ghost hunt in Middletown, Ohio right now.
Ghost hunt or at a school?
At a school. He is on a ghost hunt with one of our, I don't know if he's talked to you about the sheepdogs or not, but he's on a ghost hunt with one of our fellow sheepdogs.
This is all in to keep the school open?
It could be. I don't know. I haven't asked him about it.
What the hell is a ghost hunt?
They actually take equipment around searching for ghosts.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah.
Well,
with the
you guys need to come to this school. You guys need to come to this school and walk around in this place at night. If you don't feel something in there, there's something wrong.
No, there's no such thing as ghosts. Nothing. None.
See, I believe in him. He don't.
I don't believe in ghosts. I don't fucking believe in Bigfoot either. I don't believe in the Loch Ness Monster. UFOs.
Why not?
Because they don't exist.
You don't believe in the Loch Ness Monster?
No, I do not.
They even got a picture of him.
Oh, that's right. What a great picture, too. You notice everything's always fucking grainy. Nobody's ever just, walked up to a UFO, and it's, there, and an alien standing at the door just, waving.
You put up the tripod and get the right lens and make the right fucking sun.
Phone, snap a picture of it.
You know what I mean?
It was probably somebody's giant oversized pool floating.
Probably just enough time to get the phone or the camera.
Oh
going.
my god! There's no. Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster?
I saw the picture. I believe in that.
You believe in the You believe in the picture, but not the monster.
Right.
It must be a monster then.
There's no monster.
Oh, okay.
They've got dozens of witnesses that have
no
seen
picture.
it.
There's no picture.
Yes. Oh no, there's pictures. Jimmy, I was just watching fucking Star Trek the other day. So we have ships that can fucking fly across the galaxy?
Mm-hmm.
I seen it. I seen the picture. Nice looking ship too. Nice
Oh yeah, it uses a Spore Hub drive now. They don't.
No, I haven't. I don't watch Discovery. That's not Star Trek. Don't get me going.
You knew what I was talking about, so apparently you watched a little bit.
No.
I've
watched none of it.
Stand it.
But I'm on all the Star Trek fan pages, and all I can hear is the fucking hate for that show. Plus, I'm not spending the extra money to fucking pay for CBS All Access.
If you have a Amazon, or what is it, Amazon Fire Stick?
I have a Fire Stick.
You put what they call Kodi, and it's spelled Kodi on there. You can modify that Fire Stick, put Kodi on there, and you can watch all that CBS All Access stuff for free.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, but do you know what? I heard it was nothing but politically correct bullshit.
Yeah, CBS.
Oh,
the new Star Trek show.
Oh.
It's all it is. It's like social justice warriors in space.
That's who took it over, the social justice warriors.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't fucking watch that shit.
Yeah, I know. They politicized it.
You know, when we were making, and people were making all these, raising all this stink about the football players taking a knee during the national anthem and everything else, the entire cast of Star Trek Discovery actually did a short video and took photos of them taking a knee in support of those protests.
Of course. It's a diverse cast. And by diverse, I mean retarded.
Yeah, I almost could not watch even the first episode because of that.
Oh, so you have watched some of it?
Oh yeah, I've seen the entire first season.
What'd you think of it?
If I could have got the kneeling stuff out of my head, it would have been great.
Really? I just, I don't. Because I'm going to be, even if they're really not politicizing it so much, I'm already so fucking everything I've heard. I'll be seeing shit that doesn't exist.
Hey, we'll see. Got ships now that'll fly across the galaxy with Spore Hub drives. Instantaneous.
I heard about that. And the ship does like a roll thing first?
Mm-hmm. That's a little out of the Star Trek ordinary, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It used to be somewhat related in reality of things that could possibly be.
Yeah, I think they tried to copycat from the recent Star Trek movies too, on the way they did things, the way the Klingons look, stuff like that.
Yeah, the Kelvin timeline.
There's no originality in these shows anymore.
Well, they think that if they screw around with history, that they're not going to get the money. But like I said, there is no originality. That's why nobody's watching it.
Well, do you know what it is? It's because it's a bunch of Hollywood elitists, right?
Well,
and
yeah.
they say this is what people want to see. The fucking guys in suits that fucking have no idea what Star Trek is, never fucking seen it, and then they tell you. I've been watching Star Trek since the fucking early 70s, all right?
Did you watch the cartoon?
I got it on DVD. I got the whole set.
Nice.
I got two. My stepson bought me two of the original cells. You know what a cell is? Like Disney used to, they paint on the
piece of plastic.
Right,
yeah.
And they would film it. He bought me two of the original cells from the cartoon.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's something worth having.
Yeah, I gotta get them framed and shit.
Yeah, they look like they're about 40 years old.
Yeah, well, they're originals. I got the paperwork and everything with them.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You saw what J.J. Abrams did with the first, what do they call it, a reimagination of Star Trek?
Reboot.
The only thing that I saw in there that really changed from the original Wrath of Khan movie was the fact that Kirk died instead of Spock.
Yeah. Well, the two Khans didn't look too much alike, did they?
No.
One was a fucking bulky Spanish guy that looked awesome in his costume. The other one was a fucking pale white British guy.
Yeah, that's the same pale white British guy that played
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, and he played in Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's famous detective. I can't remember his name.
Yes.
Sherlock Holmes.
Which is, do you know what? It's a great, if you like Sherlock Holmes, it's a great fucking series.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's well done.
Yeah, it is. And then J.J. Abrams also, and this upset me. He rehashed Star Wars: A New Hope. And that, not the last Star Wars film. What was it? Oh my God, I forget. I've watched Star Wars all the damn time. I can't remember the name of it.
The Last Jedi?
No, not the Last Jedi. The one before it.
Force Awakens.
Yeah, The Force Awakens. He kind of rehashed A New Hope in that.
My brother Mike said, Paul, you're going to go see the movie, and you're not going to see a single original thing. The whole movie was the first three movies all mashed together with different names.
Sadly, that movie made so much money, it was ridiculous. And now, shortly after it released, J.J. Abrams refused to do any of the other films, and now he's kicking himself in the ass for it.
It was horrible. I thought it sucked. At least Rogue One was decent.
Right.
I never liked any of them except for the visual effects. That's what I went and saw with the original Star Wars.
The first one. There was nothing original in it. Instead of the Empire, it was the First Order. The Rebels were now the Resistance. The fucking plans were in the droid. What the fuck?
Yeah, how original.
Yeah, Jesus, thanks.
The plans to find Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Boy, he looks great, huh? Mark Hamill. Wow.
At least the BB-8 was pretty cool. I actually liked that.
It was a cool looking droid and shit, but who the fuck wrote it? Who were the fucking writers? And spend a little less on the fucking special effects, a little more on the writing.
Hey, speaking of Star Wars, you know who the foulest mouth character ever in the history of Hollywood was?
Who?
R2-D2. They picked out everything he said.
Yeah. I remember I was just a kid when Star Wars, the original Star Wars, come out. Man, I sat in that theater staring at that screen, going, "Wow,
Yeah,
never seen anything like that in my life."
I still have the original vinyl sets that came out with those movies where they did all the audio and everything on vinyl.
Yes.
I still have those. As a matter of fact, I've got them sitting upstairs on a shelf now.
Them could actually be worth some money, bro. I got one of the remember the theater posters that stood? They weren't on the wall. They stood like a picture with the thing holding them up.
Yeah.
It's wood.
Cut out or whatever.
No, it's paint on wood, but it looks just like the poster. I have one of them from Star Wars. A buddy gave it to me.
Oh, excuse me.
That's all right.
Well, we're winding down here.
Well, that's right. I forgot. You can tell it on the radio.
Can I get a quick second here? Just want to remind everyone that tomorrow night from 7 to 9, All In with me, Jimmy, Donald, Les, and Dave. That's from 7 to 9. And you can catch us every Thursday. And I'm pretty much sure that it's going to be Jimmy, I, and Jeremy. And that's from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
And stay tuned for something to consider with Catrice Barnes. And I want to give a shout out to all the troops that listen to us from around the world. God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless our troops.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Well, 2 seconds.
Oh, you got 2 seconds. Never mind. See you next Thursday, Jeremy.
All right.
You did great, brother.
Stay on.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
I was lucky. Tell me